So when it comes to retirement planning, the strategy has often been to invest sensibly, save and delay retirement as late as possible. Well, with that conventional wisdom, doesn't really apply right now, but you should also consider what your income needs will be in retirement. Here to talk about that very thing is my guest, Stephen Cox in Salt Lake City. So Stephen, explain how you address transitioning a portfolio for retirement.
So the primary purpose of a portfolio shifts when one shifts from preparing for retirement into retirement. Before retirement, people are primarily looking to accumulate as many funds as they can to make sure that they have enough money to sustain their lifestyle during retirement. However, once the people that we work with transition into retirement, the big question becomes, how can I generate income from that portfolio now that I'm no longer working? It's been our experience that rather than just looking at a simple withdrawal percentage and selling the securities that people hold in their portfolios in order to generate income, there are ways that income can be generated in a more tax efficient and more generally efficient manner so that more income can be produced from the same portfolio. This gives us a lot of flexibility, but it does mean shifting the perspective of what we're trying to accomplish with their retirement portfolio.
So one popular drawdown strategy is called the 4% rule. Does that still work these days?
The 4% rule in concept is still valid in that the concept of the 4% rule was that you'd be able to sustainably take out 4% of your retirement portfolio and that portfolio could last safely for a 30-year long retirement. And that was first created back in the 1990s. However, if we were to look at that same scenario today, you'd have to take significantly less out due to current market conditions in order to be able to have that same level of safety. We generally don't recommend for the people that we work with that they apply some sort of rote rule of that kind. It's been our experience that if we're able to generate retirement income from investments that are designed to generate retirement income, rather than taking a simple withdrawal rate, and if we're able to make adjustments according to an individual's circumstances and changing market conditions, that we can generate sufficient and even above the 4% withdrawal rates without having to constrain ourselves to the lower withdrawal rates that you'd need if you were to simply take a withdrawal rate like the 4% rule was designed to be. In today's current market environment, that kind of safe withdrawal rate would be less than 3%.
So for income, how do you know when to take Social Security benefits?
Social Security is a really interesting question given that it has a lot to do with life expectancy, with family circumstances, and with where your other assets are in retirement. I think that most people will take it as a given that if they're planning on continuing to work beyond age 62, they won't take Social Security at age 62. Statistics show that most retirees are taking their Social Security at age 62. It's been our experience, however, that in most cases, delaying Social Security beyond age 62 makes sense, but knowing exactly when to take it depends on the lifestyle that they'd like to live at the beginning of their retirement in comparison to the lifestyle that they'd like to maintain at the end, how long they expect to live, and to what extent they can really afford to draw down other assets while they delay Social Security. The draw with delaying Social Security is that you get a guaranteed increase in the income benefit you receive on a monthly basis for each year that you wait. However, it can be detrimental to one's long-term retirement prospects if too many of those assets are spent down. Our recommendation is to run a comprehensive analysis rather than just a benefits maximization analysis on Social Security alone to make sure that whatever claiming strategy is used coordinates with the rest of one's financial plan and goals and values so that we make sure that you have the greatest financial outcomes possible.
Now talk about the importance of tax planning.
Tax planning is extremely important as it relates to retirement planning because for most of current retirees' lives, they were taught to save in tax-deferred assets like IRAs and 401ks, which means that most of their assets are subject to what's called tax rate risk. This is the risk that tax rates could be increased without your consent during retirement. And what it means is that there's an uncertainty about the amount of funds you actually have to plan for in retirement. If we made a financial plan that was based on a 25 or 30% tax rate, and that tax rate ended up being 40 or 45% in retirement, you could see how that would throw the plan off. And so Tax planning is this process of proactively looking into the future and trying to reallocate assets and plan on a year-over-year basis to make sure that we minimize taxes, which ultimately leaves our clients with more money in their pockets and not just a large amount in tax-deferred assets.
And retirees are living a lot longer, as we said, and the numbers show that most haven't really saved enough. How do you address that situation?
Many of the people that we work with come into us and have that sentiment. What we found is that if you're looking at traditional wisdom that can be found on the internet and you're looking at things like the 4% rule that we talked about earlier, you might find that you don't expect to have sufficient assets to last for your entire retirement. What we found, though, is that through the efficiencies that can be created through tax planning, as well as through Social Security optimization and coordination with the rest of a financial plan, and then really digging in deeper into the income needs on a line-by-line basis for our clients, that we've been able to get a lot more clarity about what they do need and what they don't need. We are comfortable letting our clients know when needed what would have to happen in order for them to be successful with their retirement goals if they truly haven't saved enough. But it's been our experience that in most cases, through efficient planning and being proactive, we've been able to create great outcomes with the assets that they do have saved for retirement.
That's Stephen Cox in Salt Lake City, and this is Retirement News Online.